Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cabbage Patch Soap. My name is Laura, and today I will be cutting the wood grain soap, and we will also be making uh, another wood grain soap, probably out of the raspberry fragrance. Hi, Ian. Welcome. You've been waiting so long. I bet you need to speak to a manager. Hi, Stacey. Welcome. Okay. Just getting my chat set up to make sure I can see everyone, so it doesn't filter you guys out. There we go. Okay. All right. Looks like that's going all right. And then I will. Okay. No, that's okay. I don't think he's able to be like that for real. Maybe I'm wrong. At least he's never been that way towards me. I guess I can't speak for other people. I'm just getting my gloves on here. Kind of excited about this cut because I get to use this other soap cutter. I don't remember if I showed this to you guys or not, but yeah, the male version of Karen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough of them, I guess, to know what all the labels are supposed to be. Okay, so first of all, here is the small bar, the individual one. So that's what the bottom looks like. That's the side. It almost looks like layers, like a layered chocolate or something with caramel. I don't know. It looks okay. It smells really good, though. Has that really lovely, juicy apple scent. Okay, I'm just going to take the block out of the mold. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad it came out okay. Just trying to decide where I was going to set the soaps. I think I'll just leave them here. I think they'll fit. There's only going to be 3. Maybe. Yeah, 3 probably. So the way we have to cut these is, first of all, we got to take it out of the mold. So normally I cut my soaps this way, right? We have to cut them this way. And the reason I can't do that on my other cutter is because my other cutter cuts only in 1-inch segments. But this mold is not 3 inches tall with a flat top. So that means that we have to adjust the size of the bars. Here instead of here. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, let me get this. So, I just need to figure out, excuse me, how wide this is. And the reason this is okay for like this size mold. Don't typically make these kinds of fiddly designs with many, many soaps because cutting them would take hours if I had like a large batch. But basically, just going to figure this out. So this is about 2 inches. Excuse me. So I want to adjust this on this side here. What this does is it lets me adjust like how large or small I want each slice to be. And let's see. Probably should have figured this out ahead of time, but no, I'm not doing math. I'm just gonna guess. Hi, Lorna, welcome. Math is for people who have had more sleep than I have. That's for sure. Okay. All right, just a moment. Whoa, I bumped that. All right, give me just a second here. Make sure I don't mess this up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is make these maybe a little over half an inch. Whoops, don't want to bump this. All right, so that's right. I'm going to open it first so I don't have to deal with that. Okay. And the thing is, the string should be, or not the string, I guess it's a wire actually. The wire that cuts this should be roughly in the middle of this gap here. And so I'm just hoping that it's correct. So basically what's going to happen is these bars are going to be, you know what, actually, I just thought of something. These bars are going to be this big if I do it this way. But what if instead, well, I don't know, I kind of want to see the pattern. I would say we could cut it down the center only, and then we'd have two halves and then cut it this way. But I think we can still do what I was thinking, make them smaller because we can still cut them the other way. We'll end up with four slightly smaller bars, but I think that will be better. Okay, so yeah. Uh this is roughly about right. Okay. So we're going to see. So again, this is what the top looks like. The sides, and we're going to go for it. If this doesn't work out, then I'll figure something else out for the rest of them, I guess. All right. So there's the first one. And then that's the wood grain design. So that's this side. So I'll put that aside here. So that's the first one. And then move the bar forward. I probably could have cut these a little bit thicker. And I didn't take any like end pieces either. So I probably could have done that as well. So there's the next one. So you got this really cool grain going through it. And then this last one. And that's how those look. So you have these really neat like stripes or layers. And what I'm going to do now is I think we'll go ahead and cut them in half this way because these are going to be too awkward to hold, I think. And I think maybe what we'll do for the next batch is cut the slices a little bit bigger so we get 3 instead of 4. But let's all right, let's double check the size on this one. Okay. Alrighty. All right, so like I said, it's kind of hard to tell because of I don't know where the wire, it does look like it comes down the middle. Okay. I'm just going to see. Does that look like roughly half? Yeah, roughly. Okay. I'll double check here. Yep, that looks good. All right. And that's what, whoops. And that's what it would look like from, if you line them up this way, they look like that. And so these bars will be a little bit smaller, a little easier to hold, but they smell really, really good, like apple. So those came out pretty cool. So let's do, yeah, I want to do another one, but I want to do them raspberry scented. I'm just going to set these in their mold and I'm going to set it aside so that later I can put them on the shelf. So they'll be safe in there. And this kind of cutter is really good for these weird designs where, maybe the soap doesn't quite fit in the multi cutter, or you have to do a different size than what the multi cutter, because the multi cutter is set to a specific size. You can't change the size of the slices. So that's what this bar or that's what this cutter is good for. Making sure that's clean. Okay, it's gonna clear that. Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna go set this aside. Yeah, it has wood rings. Yep. Yeah, when I line them all up, it looks like the bottom half of a log. Right. Yeah, it's really cool. The only thing is, I think that white started it started to set up, um, or maybe the fragrance just didn't agree with it, so I didn't get really smooth lines. And so I want to try this again, because I kind of had a feeling that white misbehaved on me. So let's try it again, but I want to do different colors. So and a different fragrance as well, because might as well try something different, right? Um, this one is called sun ripened raspberries. It smells really, really good. I'm hoping there's not too much floral in it because I do not want this to accelerate if we can avoid it. And then for the colors, I want to do this is called Rose Pink from Nurture Soap. It's got a really nice like raspberry pink type color. And for the other pink, I was thinking oleander, but I'm almost out of it. So what I might do, and the oleander is so light that you kind of need, at least for me, I found I needed a little bit more than usual to get the color I wanted. So if that happens, what we'll do is add a little bit of this rose pink and maybe some titanium dioxide to kind of knock it down a little bit. That way there's some contrast in the color. And then to represent the leaves and the brambly vines, we'll use this green. It's called Enchantment. It's a really nice, kind of sparkly almost little green. It's really, really pretty. It's like a lighter green color. And I really like it. And then if we need it, I have the bottle with the white in it. But we'll see if we need it. And just like before, I'm going to try not to over mix this because I'm going to have to individually mix these colors. And yeah, just make sure. Okay, let me grab my face mask real quick. Or a face shield, rather. Now that face mask has a totally different meaning than it did, or than most people were used to. Okay. All right, let me just take my headset off so I can put this on just a moment. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pour the lye into this container. And then I've got other containers here to mix the colors. And I liked that long spout, the way we did it last time. So I'm going to use that again for this. Yeah, I like that idea. So we'll go with that. All right, hopefully I won't need anything else. So let's go ahead and put this in. And this is the lye water that already has the sea salt in it. All right. There's some unmelted oil on the side there. It's not going to affect anything though. All right. Try to get the air bubbles out. Okay. That's probably plenty because we're going to come back and mix the colors and let's put the fragrance in and mix that in first. Okay, so let's see. Like I said, hopefully this does not accelerate. Okay, that's half. Good. You don't need a whole lot of this. It's really has a very I want to say a bold smell. Yeah, very bright raspberry scent. And I'm going to put very little green, kind of like how we did with the white. Less green than the pinks. So let's make that one the green. And these two, the pinks. That looks good to me. Yeah, that should be plenty. Okay. This aside. All right. So first I'll put the green in. And if this does accelerate, because I haven't used this fragrance before, so I don't know. So if that does accelerate, we'll just figure something out. It'll be fine. All right. This is the dark pink. Okay. This one I remember being pretty bold. We don't know a whole lot of it. This pink is really nice. It has like purpley undertones. It's very pretty. Not sure how much of that the camera's picking up. And this one has a little measuring spoon in there. We've got to get it out. There it is. Okay, let's put all that in there. That might be enough. We'll see. Okay. But this is a very nice soft pink, especially if you want something to kind of have a hint of pink, but you don't want it overpowering. That's a really good pink to use for that. And I'm going to start by whisking these because I don't know if I trust stick blending it yet. I will at the end to make sure everything is fully together, but because I don't know how many florals are in this fragrance. Okay. Yeah, see how it's like a really pale pink. I think I will add just a little bit of this darker pink and then maybe knock it down with some white. Okay, so put like a drop or two. This way I don't have to mix in more of the dry mica. Okay, it's starting to, it's still too light. Let's try a little more. There we go. Okay, that's good. That's better. Okay. The nice thing is those two pinks, now that there's a little bit of this pink in here, it'll kind of read as being like a matching color, basically. I just want a little bit more. Pretty soon I'll have half and half. No, it's not quite there yet. I think I will put just a tiny bit of white. Just a tiny bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And then we got to mix in this green. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't think I need to stick blend this anymore. This is already starting to look like a light trace to me. The only downside is that means if there's any dry mica in here, it might create spots on the soap, but that's not an issue. Okay, so I got to do this quick. Just double checking. See, nice colors. Thank you, Lorna. Yeah, like a firecracker bursting. Yeah, it's a really pretty color. You did use the same whisk to mix different colors. It's like terrible and stuff. Nobody does that. It's kind of like using the same stick blender just to blend different colors. Okay, let's try this again. A little bit of the green. And then more of this pink. And I'm trying to put more pink than green because there's very little green, and most of the time people aren't thinking about the plant when they're thinking about raspberries. Okay. Although raspberries, the plants have a lot of leaves and branches and things. I think really I should try pouring maybe from the side. I'm going to try that and see if that does anything different in the soap. Here, I'm running out of the green, which is fine. Oops. And I think I'll take my own advice from last time and pour that little individual bar last, like I usually do, instead of trying to, pour it first and then risking this going firm. Okay. And let's try this one. And look at this. Look at this, Ian. I'm using the same spatula in different colors. Better cancel me now. All right. And then the light pink. Oops. Except I should be pouring it inside the pot instead of outside the pot. There we go. Nobody saw it happen. All right, let's see if I can get any more green out. Yep, looks like I got plenty of green. And then, of course, anything in here that doesn't get used in the main mold will go in its own individual mold at the end. And if you guys enjoy this, let me know if there's any designs or colors or whatever that you'd like to see me make, or fragrances you'd like to see me use, because, of course, you know, making your guys' suggestions is always a lot more fun than me just making whatever. Okay. All right, and the last of this pink, this light pink. Hopefully, oh, I see. Lovely, I've been blocking this camera, I'm sorry. I'm like so focused on getting this done in time that I didn't even realize. Sorry about that. All right, so let's get this done before it sets up on me. Unsubscribed. Oh yeah, the Cheshire Cat. Yep. Yeah, he did have stripes. That's true. All right, same as before. And there is a black line in this mold. Yes, the camera won't focus on it. But anyways, that was in manufacturing. There's nothing stuck to it. It just has inside the mold. All right, so we're just gonna kind of go. Whoops! Whoa! It's overflowing. Okay, I need to slow this down before I make a mess. All right, let's try that again. But I guess that's what you guys are here for, is watching me make messes. Is that even in frame? There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. There we go. That's better. All right. So we can see it's starting to make some stripes as it goes on, but it's really, see how it's thickening? I think these fragrances are just accelerating too much. I may have to look through my stash and see what I have that does not accelerate, because see how it's coming out kind of clumpy. And I did not stick blend this nearly as long as I normally would, so this is not over blending. All right. But that's okay. It'll still be really pretty. In fact, what we could do is cut this the way that I cut the boho rainbow, which was the wrong way for this pour. And it had a really cool effect. So I might do that instead of bothering with trying to get the wood. Yeah, see? Yeah, this raspberry accelerates. Okay, so now we know. This was a good one to test it on too. I'll go ahead and just layer this on top. But it's pretty and it smells really good, so it's definitely still worth using. And why don't we get that mold real quick? See if I can find one we can use. And I'll also get the chopstick. One moment, let me find that mold. All right, so first things first, let me just swirl this real quick, make it look pretty. Add some more swirls. And some more swirls this way. Okay, so we got something that looks like a design there. Doesn't look too bad. I'll set that aside, and then I'll pour the extra in here. This is the same mold that we used for the other wood grain. We'll use it for this. So, yeah, we'll put it in here in this one that's already stained. The more I use this stained mold, the sooner that stain will come out, probably, if it comes out. Okay, so let's plan on cutting this soap the normal way. And then I will look for either I will either get a recipe with make I'll just get one of my recipes that has a fewer solid oils in it, and we'll try this again, or I will look through my fragrances and find one that does not have any acceleration, and we'll go with that and try this again because I want to do this again. I really, really like the wood grain design, and I want to make more in different colors and see how those turn out. So, but there we go. Get that to level out a little bit, look a little bit swirly. There we go. That's cute. Okay. So on Monday, we'll come back, we'll unmold this and cut the loaf mold. And this, it really does smell good. It smells like raspberry, like a smoothie, but like predominantly raspberry. It has that really nice, like kind of sharp raspberry um, scent to it, if you know what I mean. The berries have that kind of, I don't know how to describe it. I'll make it sound worse. But basically, it smells like a berry. Very much so. It's very, really, really nice smelling. Probably should have cleaned these out before swirling the top, but that's okay. This will add some more color. Maybe it'll swirl will look better second time around. All right, let me just get this cleaned out real quick. All right, so let's get this, and then I'll check what you guys are saying. It's kind of cool. Looks like flowers in a leaf or something. All right. There we go. All right, so that's got a little bit of a design on it now. That's how that looks. I'm gonna try not to overly mess with it, but there we go. Okay. Added a little bit more flair. And I gotta clean these jugs up. What are you guys saying here? Before I made a mess. I already did. You're right. Hold on. I had to take off that face shield. A dog soap. Lots of cat ones. When's the last time I made a dog one? That is a good question. I'll have to see if I have the things to make a dog soap. That is a good question. So overblending will set it up too. Yeah. So basically, the more that you work the soap, the more it starts to set up for whatever reason. And so the confusing thing is you can also get a false trace by not blending enough. Like if it's really cold, which it's not today at all. And that's another thing too, is that normally the temperature is relatively cool. We've had kind of a hot flash here, and it's really warm. And that might be part of the problem, honestly, is that it might be too warm for me to make these intricate designs. So maybe I should hold off until the temperature drops a little bit. That could be part of the problem. And yeah, overblending can, especially if you have a fragrance that accelerates. Like if I was to use just a floral, so like if I was to get lavender or rose and just sit here and blend, the soap would be solid in seconds. It goes really, really fast. Or I could do a classic movie series like The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, Gone with the Wind. See, I love that idea. The reason I don't or haven't yet really is because of like copyright issues and stuff. I really don't want to get in trouble for copying essentially somebody else's work. And also, um, I don't know where that line is, right? So like if we were going to do the the Wizard of Oz, let's say, and let's say I made a soap that was just yellow, and I'm like, oh, this yellow soap represents the yellow brick road, right? Well, I mean, is that okay? Like where do these lines end? And I've seen a lot of other soapers do even they even copy like Disney, and they'll do uh maybe not the actual character isn't in the soap. Like let's pretend they did a Mickey Mouse soap. There might not actually be Mickey Mouse in the soap, but it might have the colors like the black and the white and then the red for his outfit. And it might have the 2 yellow buttons, but it might just be like square layers. Um, so I really hesitate to do stuff like that because I feel like it's inviting trouble. But I know that there are some things that are so old that there's no copyright. Like if I was to do, um, I don't know, like music inspired soap, and I was to use something like Beethoven inspired soap, I don't think like that would be fine because it's way past any kind of copyright or legal problems. That's just been too long. But anything related to Disney or anything related to like very famous works, I wonder about the copyright. Yeah, it is warm, Ian, sadly. But I kind of wonder, like, if there's any lawyers that work in this sort of field, if they have anything they can say about it, because I did look into it. I couldn't find any information like online that was very like nothing that was um like anything that would for sure say, oh, this is exactly like what you can and can't make. I couldn't find anything like that. And there are forums out there where you can ask legal questions and lawyers will answer your questions. And I tried asking them about that, and it was very toxic, the response I got. So um, I gave up on that. So I just decided, and really my issue isn't so much like me making it to sell, like me making it and then putting it in my shop, but like people making requests. Like if somebody has a birthday party or something and they're like, hey, can you do soaps that are that have like the same color scheme as like this movie because we're going to use this movie as like the theme for the birthday party. um so maybe they want orange soaps or they want blue soaps or whatever. And at what point is it crossing a line? And when I asked about that, basically got chased off. So I was like, well, I guess that's what I get for asking questions. But um yeah, so that's why I haven't done anything that's like directly related to any like modern classics, modern in like the last 100 years. Because yeah, because of that reason, basically. I don't want to get sued. I don't want people thinking that I'm trying to profit off of somebody else's work. Um, and just also personally, I feel like those people who made those movies or made those whatever, they worked hard and they were successful with it. There's nothing saying that I can't come up with my own designs and be successful with it. So I try to look at it that way and make it a positive thing. But um okay, last 95 years, yeah, I'll look into it then. Yeah, because I think it would be fun. I agree with you. I think it'd be really, really cool, and it'd be an interesting challenge, especially if, especially if we do black and white movies, like all these black and white soaps. So it would be kind of cool, actually. I think so. I think I like your idea. I just have to figure out a way to do it and not get in trouble. So, but yeah, I'll look into that and see if I can find before 1978 copyright the last 95 years. Well, 1978 is wouldn't for the last 95 years wouldn't that have to be like 1918 or something like that? I don't even know what movies were around that far back. I'll have to look. I'm used to seeing, well, I'm familiar with, I should say, some really, really old movies, but I don't know, like some of the silent films. Or instead of copying the movies, a lot of times those old movies were based off of other works like books or whatever, and I could reference the book instead of the movie, and then it would have been old enough. Let me see here. Movie with a single known creator that was created on or after January 1978 would have copyright protection beginning at its creation and lasting for the life of the creator, plus an additional 78 years after the creator's death, or 70 years after the creator's death. Okay. In the case of a joint work, uh, the term of copyright would end 70 years after the death of the last surviving creator. Before 1978, the number of possible copyright protected years is now 95 years from the original date of copywriting. Okay. I'll have to dig up some classics and see what we can come up with. I would assume that the rule for books and like books and poems and things like that would be. I mean, like we could do Shakespeare, right? I'm sure there's been lots of Shakespeare movies and plays and whatnot, but the original works are ancient. And also something else too. Some of the movies, like even Disney movies, are based off of stories. Like if you took Cinderella, well, Cinderella, the story of Cinderella goes back really, really far. Or Snow White, probably. I don't know. I'll have to look that one. I think Snow White was based off an old story too. Most of them are. So maybe we could go that route. Um, that would mean that the design would have to represent something other than the theme that we see in the movie. Like I can't use the same, well, I wouldn't anyway, probably use the same color palette or whatever. But yeah, that might be a route to go. But yeah, I'll have to think about that and look up some old shows and see what and some old stories because like fairy tales, old fairy tales or old children's stories. A lot of those are made into movies. Maybe we could do it that way around. I think that would be fun. Yeah, thank you for the great idea. I'll definitely look into it and see what we can find, and that won't get me in trouble. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go put this soap in the oven, and we'll be back on what day is it? Thursday. We'll be back on Monday to cut the soap. And as usual, you guys, if you like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm really glad to have you guys here. And if you have any other ideas, definitely post them either in chat or post them in a comment below. Um, and if any of you guys have some suggestions related to what Stacy's suggesting here, if you have some old like movies that you'd like to see made into soap, let me know. And I'll also be looking for some. And thanks for hanging out with you guys. Have a great night. See you soon.